Joe, come on in, my brother.
Hey, good morning, Egberto.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Oh man, I'm great. I'm great. I was encouraged by one of your early callers that you were talking about Medicare for all because I
Yes.
agree that healthcare is one of the things that we definitely should have a build some kind of cooperative structure like to benefit everyone for healthcare. My concern is that you later said, I want to increase taxes. I want to increase income taxes, and
No, I don't mean income, but go ahead. Sorry.
But so let's flip it the other way around, right? Let's say, do you agree that saving is generally good? Healthy financial decision. And most people think that I'm going to save a portion of my money for my old age or for emergencies or whatever, and saving is good. But why don't we tax the other way around? Instead of taxing what you earn, tax what is spent. Right? There's this thing it's called a value-added tax, a VAT tax.
Yeah.
Similar to a tax, but the more you make, the more you spend. Right? The more you spend, the more VAT tax you're going to pay. Right? And so that kind of everyone has to spend money, and you don't have to tax essentials like food or medicine. So I think personally, I think a VAT tax is a much better system than the income tax, because with the income tax, people can decide, well, I'm just not going to earn any, legitimate income, and therefore I won't pay any taxes, and I'm good to live on,
Can I interrupt you, Joe? Joe, can I interrupt you? Let me just say this, right? I am agnostic to how it's done as long as it's not regressive. You follow me? I am agnostic to whatever ideas come up. Your idea may be better than my idea, and if that's a better idea, I am for it. But what I want to ensure is that it doesn't penalize, okay? I want to ensure that it doesn't penalize that. Yes, we do have a sales tax in Texas, but I want to make sure, brother, that it does not penalize on a regressive manner. So people who complain about the VAT tax, that is where you tax at the point of spending, talks about, let me give an example. A billionaire, there's a max that a billionaire is going to spend, and he will continue to accumulate wealth. I do believe even if you have a VAT tax, we also need to have a wealth tax. We can go into that a little bit later, but the VAT, I think there's a big merit to what you just said, and that is if you're taxing income, that is fungible. If you do VAT, everybody spends, and you know what is being spent. So that makes a lot of sense. But I also think at that point you also have to look at wealth and also ensure that it's not regressive. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, that's really that another thing that the lens that I'm starting to look at things through is, I mean, it's an old lens, but and it's shifting gears a bit, but Plato versus Aristotle, right? Like, just go look it up and read it a little bit. Plato was like an idealist, right? And Aristotle was more of a realist. But Plato,
right?
People like progressives, for example, they have these ideals in their heart, justice, equity, kindness, right? And they place those ideals at the center of all of their thoughts and being. And people who are with more lean more towards Aristotle are observers, reasoners. They observe the world, and then they build models of the world, and they're thinkers, right? And so, And so what I've noticed lately is that people with the ideals in their heart, the Plato adherents, or like progressives, they feel like their ideals are so worthy, right? They're so noble in their pursuits that they can overlook a lot of little things that happen, and they just overlook it for greater good. Right, and that's given rise to a lot of the evils that we see in society today. A lot of these so-called conspiracy theories that have, that frankly turned out to be true, are overlooked by well-meaning people, but there's a penalty to being an idealist.
Let me just say one thing. Thank you, Joe. But let me just forewarn you about one thing. I believe in progressiveness, and with what you just spoke about as well, right? And that is realism. But what a lot of folks have done is they've looked at the ideals of the progressive, simply say it's not possible because of the way the world is, as opposed to saying, and then that gives permission for them to accept less. It gives the rest permission to accept evil. Now, when it comes to not seeing conspiracy theories, I think every group every ideology has the ability to be fooled, the ability to be messed with in the minds. And I think I got an idea of where you're heading to, but I don't want to tackle it right now. You're a regular caller that I like listening to. I like to listen to all my callers, but I want to tackle that when we don't have this fund drive going, Joe. So please remember this topic and call back. I want to discuss it with you in more detail. We have a deal?
You got it, Egberto. We will talk about election fraud some other day.
All right, brother. We will do that. We'll talk about that. You have a good one, brother.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel. And number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.